going to be milling a treehouse and look for the tree and stuff like that.
We're building a treehouse, and I get to use the mill, and our life is awesome. A treehouse is a big thing, a big house that you play in. It might have a rope ladder, which is something that has our little string, our ropes, and sticks that you can climb. And you can put playing things in it, so you could play in it. That's what a treehouse is.
Can you explain where the treehouse is going to be?
The treehouse is going to be in the most downhill part of our property. We call it the campsite, on a split tree. Goes up like this, and it splits.
It's
Perfect. This one's mossy.
You think we're under cover of enough trees that dragons can't see it from up top?
Probably.
Because it's made out of wood and it's not dragon proof.
It's not at all dragon proof, but I think that they'll at least not be able to see you.
We'll have a roof.
There's that tree covering. Yeah, there's lots of tree cover. You can see how dark it is there, right?
I'll talk
Then
about
This
that.
tree right here.
And like,
Dragons do still exist if you don't believe me. If you believe me or not. I don't.
We're pulling logs out of where we left them.
There were these logs that weren't really big enough for a different project that my dad was doing. So we tossed them aside, and we had gotten them back out to use them for our treehouse.
They were too small to be useful on the shop, but they're perfect treehouse size.
down to the campsite where the bird's gonna be. There!
We're gonna pull a log right here.
You managed to miss your little sunflowers so far.
We're gonna go right past them this way.
It's fine.
This is log number 1.
Log number 3.
You really just got to get it to where you can kick it and break it.
Maybe at that point.
There you go. This project sort of serves several purposes. It's a project that the kids can get their hands on and have some ownership over, but also, well, they get the end result too. They have a play space that they can go to that's specifically theirs. I don't think I'll be spending a whole lot of time in the treehouse, so they'll have a zone of their own, but for me, it also gives them a little perspective on what it takes to build a thing. You know, they look at the house, they look at the shop or whatever, say, hey, yeah, that's neat that my dad built that. But now they're getting to know how much work it is, how heavy things are, and just all of the different parts of the process that lead up to having that neat thing.
Here's your saw.
All right.
Now let's heave. Heave. Heave.
Good enough, so
Really?
that's good. Yeah.
You got it, baby.
So the kids are doing great. They're getting in there. They're excited about the design and everything, and they're really excited to have the end result. And their personalities come out quite a bit in the process. Stella kind of puts her head down and gets into it, and Milo's heavy on the front end as far as dreaming of what it's going to be. But I think together they're gonna rock it.
Should we have a little indoor break time?
Absolutely.
So we're doing this in phases. This summer, we're going to make a floor, a way up to the floor, and maybe the rails. At first, Dad thought he was going to put a log between the two split trees, but that wouldn't exactly work, so he decided not to do it. So we're going to bolt the support beams into one tree, and the fasteners on the other tree will be able to slide back and forth.
The wind's gonna blow, and this is gonna wiggle this way and that way. This is gonna blow, and it's gonna wiggle this way and that way, right?
Right.
Then that could like not be good for our situation.
Right. So if we try and fix the distance between these two, then when the wind blows, it's gonna tear it apart.
The tree needs to be able to move, because if a wind is blowing this way, it'll crunch, and if a wind is blowing this way, it'll split. And so if it's able to slide, it can go wee, 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 without much trouble.
You got board, long beam, long beam. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll say this one is bolty, bolty, brackety, brackety. Then we need a place to stand. So we then stand up boards that go like this.
Then that'll be a kind of small inside of the treehouse.
Right,
And
so it'll have.
it goes outside of the treehouse too.
Yeah. So how do we get from inside to outside?
This will all be walking surface.
Ah.
So we'll do this all the way to the ends of here. I don't know if I'm drawing the right number of them,
Yeah.
but that's only 6. So that seems kind of manageable from what the pieces we have.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we can take some boards from my stuff too. I have some 2x6s and things that I could definitely donate.
And then we lay boards across here.
Yes, exactly.
We made a list of the pieces that we would need and how big they would need to be. So after that, we went down to check if the logs were big enough.
Yeah, so 8 inches looks like this, right?
Yep.
And then, yeah, it's gonna be tight. You're gonna have some live edges there.
5 and 8.
As far as getting that thickness,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be okay.
Shouldn't this one be a beam along with it?
No, I think we can get both beams out of this, and we're gonna need a lot for joists.
So what are joists?
They're the ones going across the beam.
Yep.
So that's 9 as well. So we'll get 3 or more joists out of that. We might get 1 or 2 out of this. This is not super fat. It's plenty long, but I don't know that it's fat enough. And then I have pieces, like I have some of these. I have other stuff. I got a whole pile we can go through over here and a pile up by the house.
Okay, yeah.
So we have a plan?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
You feel like we know what we're doing?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we'll start milling some logs tomorrow?
Hooray!
Having a treehouse will be cool. And it's happening now, and it's awesome.
Hey, get back here. Get back here. Get back here.
Come on, you
Taking my eggs.
Oh, Daddy.
To day 1 of the treehouse.
We didn't really make the treehouse.
Not yet.
I can't be in the picture. Ooh.
So that's day 1 of our treehouse build. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll get the kids on the sawmill. We'll see you there.
To go on the mill. Tomorrow we get to Okay.
People don't live in it, just people just little kids just playing it. Yay! It's not the complete zone 1.
It's not zone 1. You're right. It's not zone 1.
Good night, little house.
This is probably going to be the coolest treehouse ever, which I'm not the greatest reference because I've never seen a treehouse.
Yeah, you have.